All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to do a reaction to a Johnny Arnett video. This one's called "The Greatest All-Around Player." ... Larry Bird. So obviously it's going to be about Bird, and most of you know how I feel about Larry Bird. Larry Legend was an absolute beast, and I feel like he's being underappreciated these days. So let's check this out together. The link to the original video is going to be down in the description, as it is in every video. And let's check this out together. Here we go. Hats off to Johnny for the best intro of all time. I'm super jealous. All right, here we go.
The greatest all-around player of all time. What does this mean exactly? When we're talking about this subject, I think most people mean it in terms of a variety of elite abilities. Is he a top scorer, a top passer, a top rebounder, a top defender, and so on? Usually, when this debate comes up, you'll hear two players get mentioned quite a bit: LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Let me make this clear. This video is not intended to be a criticism against either of those players. Both Jordan and LeBron are immensely talented in a variety of ways, and each of those players have a legitimate argument for that title. But the thing is, I think Larry Bird's case is just as strong, but for some reason, he's almost never given that same level of recognition on this particular topic.
Yeah, especially these days. LeBron somehow got to just skip right over Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And now he skipped right over Kobe Bryant. And I don't quite understand how this happened. Bird himself has 4. Did it in a lot less time. And played better defense. You know, he was a better passer, better shooter. He just didn't stick around and rack up as many points. So accolades-wise, yeah, Larry Bird's got him in less time. Same with Magic. Same with Kobe. I don't understand this whole LeBron just leaping over all these legends BS that's going on.
Now let me break down the main reasons why I think Bird's case is so strong. For one, Larry Bird has no weaknesses in his game. Think about how rare that actually is, even when considering some of the GOAT candidates. It can be argued that Michael Jordan's weakness was his three-point shooting, especially earlier in his career. LeBron James is a below-average free throw shooter. Magic Johnson wasn't a great defensive player. Wilt Chamberlain and Shaquille O'Neal were terrible free throw shooters.
Yep.
In several seasons, Kobe Bryant wasn't very efficient from the field, and Bill Russell was a very limited scorer. On the other hand, Larry Bird was an elite scorer overall. He was tremendously efficient from the field, from three-point range.
It reminds me of Luka nowadays, because except for a Bird played much better defense, but same kind of issue on the offensive end. Their only weakness is they're not athletic at all. Bird was not athletic at all.
And from the free throw line. He was an elite rebounder, especially considering his position. He was an elite passer, he was a clutch performer, and he was an NBA All-Defender. I challenge you to find one thing that Larry Bird wasn't good at.
Dunking?
The other major reason is Larry was arguably a top 10 player of all time in several major categories.
Yeah,
First off, scoring. When you consider the greatest scorers in NBA history and factor in a player's scoring efficiency, Larry Bird simply has to be in that conversation. He had a career scoring average of 24.3, which is only slightly behind the career scoring average of Kobe Bryant.
24.3. Yeah, that is just slightly behind Kobe. I bet he's got Bron beat on the... No. I don't know what LeBron's career scoring is. His career scoring average.
He also has the second most 50-40-90 seasons in NBA history, trailing only Steve Nash. And
Wow.
Nash was never the 25 to 30 points per game player that Bird usually was.
No, he was 15 to
Over
20.
a 5-year stretch, from 1985 to 1989, Larry Bird averaged 28 points on 50-40-90 percentage.
Okay, 85 to 89. Yeah, this was prime time for this guy. Then it was around 90 or 91. He injured his back. It was never the same. But dude, putting up 28 on 52% shooting, 41 from the 3-point line back then, especially. Damn. Yeah, he was a great free throw shooter.
That level of sustained scoring efficiency is basically unmatched by the rest of NBA history. So again, he's arguably a top 10 scorer of all time. He's also arguably a top 10 rebounder in NBA history, when you consider the position he played. According to StatMuse, among small forwards, Bird has the 4th highest rebounds per game average in NBA history
Crazy.
at 10.1. The thing
That's
is,
crazy because we don't really consider him a great rebounder, but he did everything. He did everything. All of it. Complete game.
as every other player in the top 8 spots all played in the 1960s, which was easily the most inflated rebounding era in the game's history. And that was due to lower field goal percentages and a faster pace of play. The closest small forward to Larry Bird in rebounds per game who didn't play in the 1960s was Shawn Marion, who wasn't even close to Larry's numbers.
No.
He was able to
Nope, not at
accomplish
all.
this thanks to his 6'9 frame, thanks to his all-out play style, and because of his intelligence on the court. In clutch situations, he dominated the boards to an even greater extent.
Yep.
For goodness sake, in the 1984 NBA Finals, Bird averaged 14 rebounds per game.
Shoot. Yeah, real quick. That's one of those things that, I respect guys like Bird so damn much because nowadays he would just be a lights out shooter and it would just put up his 30 points a game and call it a day. But Bird was the best guy on offense, shooting wise. But you'd see him just bump and grind for rebounds and also D'ing up the hell out of his man, going for blocks and steals. Like he was really doing it at both ends. Like kind of like Michael Jordan, except for he got more rebounds.
Over the course of the series, compared to the Lakers' Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who averaged 8.1. In the 1981 finals, Bird averaged 15.3 rebounds, going toe-to-toe with the legendary rebounder Moses Malone. When you consider the era and the position he played, Bird is not only a top 10 scorer of all time, but he's also a potential top 10 rebounder of all time. Then you have Bird as a passer. He had creativity and court vision that was very nearly on the level of the great Magic Johnson. At times, it looked as if Bird had eyes in the back of his head with some of the passes he was making.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because Magic was known for his passing, but Bird was right there. It might not have looked as pretty because he wasn't flashy, but dude, man, he's still one of the greatest passers of all time.
Among small forwards, Larry has the second highest assists per game average of all time, ahead of Scottie Pippen and trailing only LeBron James. But unlike LeBron James and Scottie Pippen, Bird's assists per game average actually increased in the postseason. When I recently did a video on the top 10 passers of all time, I had Bird as an honorable mention. And good lord, that created a whole bunch of backlash in the comments section.
Yeah, I would have been one of them in the comments section. I definitely have him in a top 10. Like, maybe even top 5. Because it's not about flashiness. It's about, like, the impossible passes he'd make. And it was just a everyday part of his job.
For me, he's in the 11 to 13 range. But at the very least, we can all agree that he's arguably a top 10 passer.
Yes.
Beyond that, there's three-point shooting. Bird is tied for the most three-point contest victories in NBA history with a total of 3.
Yeah.
Which he won in consecutive seasons.
And he had to just stop doing it because give somebody else a chance. Kind of like Jordan not doing dunk contest after a while. It's like, well, time to give some other people a shot, you know?
In the 1980s, he was regularly among the league leaders in both three-point percentage and in three-pointers attempted. He has every kind of three-point shot in his arsenal, as he could hit them while off balance, he could pull up in transition, and he could catch and shoot.
That shot.
Throw in the fact that he was one of the most clutch three-point shooters to ever live, and yeah, at the very least, Bird has an argument for being a top 10 three-point shooter. So to recap, he's arguably a top 10 scorer all time, a top 10 rebounder, a top 10 passer, and a top 10 three-point shooter.
And a top 10, well, not top 10 defender, but great defender. Like I said, complete game. He had a complete game. Not one true weakness. And you could, I said the athleticism thing, but he honestly, he made up for that with his toughness and his basketball IQ. So it didn't matter anyways. He got around it. Yeah, man. He's one of the GOATs. I still have him. I want to say like my top 6 right now as far as GOATs. It's hard. Top 5 is getting hard. But like he's in my top 6, man. Bird is freaking phenomenal.
Now, Bird is not a top 10 defensive player, but without a doubt in my mind, he's an extremely underrated defensive player. One thing he was known for was always giving his best energy and effort on the defensive end.
As far as GOAT contenders, though, I mean, better defender than Magic, better defender than Braun. I would put him right there with Kobe as far as defenders. Like, they weren't perfect, they weren't flawless, but they did a damn good job. I'd put Jordan above them. But yeah, it's hard. That one's hard. Bird was a fantastic defender, and that was one thing he had above Magic for sure.
You're going to be hard-pressed to find a substantial amount of footage of Bird being lazy on defense.
No, he wasn't.
As his blue-collar, grit-and-grind personality translated seamlessly to the court. Although he wasn't the fastest player on the court, he was extremely quick with his hands.
And tough.
As Bird was regularly among the league leaders in steals per game, as he averaged 1.7 over the course of his career. He was also an above-average shot blocker for his position, as he averaged 0.84 over the course of his career, which is actually a higher blocks per game average than proven defensive small forwards like LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. Bird has
and on top of that, you got a guy like LeBron James. He might get you that one block a game, maybe. Well, obviously he's showing it's less than one block a game, but even if he did get that one, he's not playing good defense. You know what I mean? He just happens to sneak up behind somebody and nab one. Bird was getting that block, yet he was playing hard defense. He was guarding his man. You know, not just letting him blow by like Braun does. So completely different hemisphere when it comes to defense. Honestly, I think as far as like the GOAT conversation goes, like Braun is the worst defender there. I got his defense below Magic's. Like watching him more closely, if you've been paying attention to my channel and watching these videos, you see what Braun's doing. Magic never did that. None of these other guys ever did what we see him doing. Just standing around and letting his, just standing around and letting the guy score at will. It's embarrassing, honestly, and then go blame your teammate for something they didn't do. But yeah, Bird definitely didn't do that. Magic definitely didn't do that. Even though Magic was not a good defender, he tried. The effort was there. Yeah, man. But Bird's on a whole nother level as far as small forwards go. I don't think Braun can compete.
3 all-defense team selections on his resume, and even finished as high as 3rd overall in the Defensive Player of the Year rankings in 1983.
Okay, let me back that up real quick.
Of his career, which is actually a higher blocks per game average than proven defensive small forwards like LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. Bird has
Is that Dr. J?
3 all-defense team selections on his resume, and even finished as high as 3rd overall in the Defensive Player of the Year rankings in 1983. If it wasn't for his humility, he would likely be the NBA's record holder for the most steals in a single game, seeing how he got a total of 9 in only...
Dude. 30 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, He almost had a 30-point quadruple double, shooting over 50% in 33 minutes. What is this game? Holy shit.
3. If it wasn't for his humility, he would likely be the NBA's record holder for the most steals in a single game, seeing how he got a total of 9 in only 3 quarters against the Utah Jazz in 1985. Despite sitting out the fourth, Bird was just 1 steal shy of the illustrious quadruple-double. I promise, I'm not trying to convince you that he was basically Dennis Rodman on the defensive end. But at the very least, Bird was an elite defensive player, who usually isn't recognized as such by modern fans. Again, to sum this all up, Larry Legend had basically no weakness in his game, while being top tier in many different aspects of the game.
Yeah.
This is why I believe he has a formidable case for being the most complete basketball player in NBA history.
I got him. I could put it this way, because the GOAT thing is hard, man. So I got Jordan as the best shooting guard of all time, hands down. I got Larry Bird as the greatest small forward of all time. So that's what knocks Bron out of the GOAT conversation for me, is because if you're not even the best of all time in your position, 1 out of 5 positions, you're not in contention. And that's why Bird is, because this is the greatest small forward I've ever seen in my life. Hands down.
There are some other candidates that I would consider as well. Guys like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Hakeem Olajuwon. But at the end of the day, when all things are considered, Bird might just be my ultimate choice. So what do you guys think? Who's the most complete basketball player of all time? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
And that's funny that they show Hakeem Olajuwon there, because you want to talk about complete players. Damn, man. He had no weakness except for what? I guess he didn't have an outside shot. That's it, but no centers took threes back then. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. This was really cool, very informative. I had no idea Bird literally could have had that 30-point triple-double. I'm sorry, quadruple-double if he would have played in the fourth quarter. Like, if it wasn't a blowout. That's insane to me. Anyways, you guys, who do you got in your ranking? Is it LeBron above Bird, or is it Bird above Bron? And then answer this question on top of that. Who's the greatest small forward of all time? Is it Bird or Bron? And see if those answers contradict each other. Like, be honest, okay? Be honest. Comments are safe. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. The original video is going to be in the description down below. And shoot me a like. It would really help the video. Comment down below. That also really helps the video. And subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Peace out.